Okay, see, we're side by side right now, so we gotta do some side by side predictions.
Totally. And they probably won't be in unison because this year the Bears teams, it's an absolute scramble. Like they've been up and down. They're all within a pretty close total point range in terms of maximums, like their best scores. This could be. I mean, the three I predict could be easily the three that aren't on the podium. It could go anyway. It could go anyway. So shall we do the big reveal here?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Oh, we're like really close.
Wow, that is
we're
really
very close.
Shocking. Okay, so the biggest surprise for me and the hardest team to omit from this list was Duhamel Radford.
Yes,
Canada, the two-time defending world champions.
And I can't recall last year if I left. I think I might have left them off the podium last year.
I think I had them like second behind.
Yeah.
Veloz trying to
You had them on the podium. You were a believer, but like this year, I don't know.
The hardest thing about that team, they're so easy to like technically.
Yeah.
And for grit and sticking with it, like stick-with-itness and wanting to make it happen. And I think they had a stronger season last year. Although they had problems, they had a stronger season from which to create a moment like they did in Boston.
Yes.
And I just feel like this year, their skating has just sort of, it's been beyond their reach all season long. Yeah. They've had some highs, they've had some successes for sure, like the short program at Skate Canada with a 78, a new personal best. I know they love the music. They did a bit of a costume change at the Nationals to like create a bit more interest, which they often do sort of mid-season. Third at the Grand Prix final wasn't great. Second behind Sui and Han, who didn't have the edge over Duhamel Radford in terms of mileage on their programs and experience.
At Four Continents.
At Four Continents, sorry. So it's hard to say, but I think they could easily be fourth. They could be a close third. I think if the other teams skate as well as they have shown that they can this season with the material that they've chosen, are going to be tougher to beat.
Yes, I think last year it was a great comeback for them at Worlds, and they absolutely nailed it. And if they skate like that again, they'll probably win Worlds again. But it's like really hard to like capture that moment, especially when you have a season that's been. It's not been tumultuous. It's not been a bad season at all. I mean, come on, second at Four Continents, third in the Grand Prix final. Like they won the Grand Prix. Like they haven't had a bad season, but for them, they've had a dicey season, mainly because of trying things like the triple axel. Obviously, they have new programs, things that they're trying to get used to, and also the motivation of being a two-time reigning world champion. It's really hard to like just keep that momentum going. I mean,
but then they also sort of. They have new, what's the word? No, like not inconsistencies, but I think they have some new monkeys on their back this season, unfortunately. Yeah. So for the first time, either in a long time or ever, at Four Continents, Eric went down on the side by side.
Yeah, that doesn't usually happen.
That doesn't happen. So I would imagine now he's going to have to get into a space where he's not second guessing that. Megan will often touch down, or she might have a problem with the quad Saukow, but at Skate Canada, like she did Bambi splits. Yeah. That was a bad scene. And I'm not saying they can't move beyond that, but they have to move beyond that. And those become harder hurdles to get past.
Eric's been doing a triple Lutz for a while, okay? I competed against him in novice nationals. I did my little double Lutz, double toe, like required combination. And then he comes out and does like a triple Lutz. And I'm like, this is not novice level, okay? Eric Radford.
Get the novice.
So technically, I've lost to an eventual world champion. So I can say that.
You made it.
But the point is,
him the skater he is today.
Yes, right. But the point is, he's been landing that triple Lutz for a while. So I think that was just kind of a freak thing for him, and he'll get it back at Worlds. And the thing is, they're such intense competitors, and like, even though our predictions don't show it, I still believe in them, and I want them to succeed because, like Ashley Wagner, they got a lot of haters online, and a lot of people don't really give them the credit or say they're not like a classical skating pair and all that stuff. And I think that they made efforts to improve themselves artistically. Yeah. They continue to push the envelope technically. So
choreographically, they found their own groove. They're not trying to be something that they're not. Yep. It's so funny. I mean, we both predicted 3 fantastic teams, and we started talking about the Canadians.
I was going to say,
I think it's because we feel so apologetic. That's like
I know, because we're like sorry, we don't have you, but like Duhamel and Radford could definitely spoil the podium as well. So
100%.
so as Ted prefaced all of this with, the podium could be definitely different from like what we predicted because there are so many high-level teams, Duhamel and Radford being one of them.
Yeah.
Now, we can talk about our predictions.
So we both have Sui and Han.
Which is actually an amazing comeback, would be an amazing comeback story because after her injury, to bust out those performances at Four Continents, like even Megan Duhamel said like she was inspired by like by Wenjing Sui coming out and just absolutely nailing it like that.
Surgery on both feet to come back and that was fantastic.
I can't even walk on two normal feet, okay, let alone have surgery.
The Bridge Over Troubled Waters program is phenomenal. It's so intimate and beautiful. Laurie Nickel has woven incredible artistry and interpretation that they look so authentic and they just ooze.
And they are showing that level of sophistication that they need. And honestly, I think they're the most sophisticated team. For the longest time, people thought of them as kind of two teenagers skating. And to be fair, like they were, they're still a really young team. But they're definitely showing that level of sophistication. And the more I was super impressed with their programs at Four Continents. I was absolutely blown away. I'm like, this is definite world champion, definite Olympic champion material. And as much as, I have a soft spot for Duhamel and Radford, I also have a huge soft spot for Sui and Han. I think they've had some difficulties over the years that have prevented them, and even the judges haven't given them the love maybe that they deserve. Hello, Chinese Paris team. That's never happened before. But now they're actually getting that recognition. They're getting the component scores they deserve, and they're getting the grade of execution, and they're really giving it their all. And they understand that it's important to cement themselves as the favorite or one of the favorites going into the Olympic season. And I'm so proud of them and so eager to see what they will bring to Worlds. And the other Chinese teams as well, Yu Xiaoyu and Hao Zhang and Peng and Jin, also two really great entries. No problem with China getting 3 entries into the Olympics, which is great because they have 3 solid Paris teams. And even...
Do they have 3 teams going to... I thought they just have 2 teams going to Finland.
Do they only have 2?
I think it's just...
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, you're right. I think you're right.
Jin and Zhang.
Yes.
And Sui and Han because of... Sui and Han, of course, won the silver medal in...
yes, you're right. Yeah.
So sorry, Yu and Zhang will be the team the second team at
which they also they could also be one of those podium shots because they were second at the Grand Prix final. So
totally,
so we could be completely wrong on this. So.
And see, I slotted Tarasova and Morozov of Russia as second. They have probably had a smidge of an edge this season. They've had more mileage on their programs than Sui and Han. Won the Grand Prix final, won the European Championships, came an awfully close second behind Stolbova and Klimov at the Russian Nationals, showing that they were ready to do battle there and not succumb to nerves or any kind of inconsistencies. But to be a front runner and to be one of the top 3, the elite at the World Championships, I think they're gonna waver a little bit, and they don't have that same kind of pressure cooker experience that Sui and Han have had the past 2 World Championships. They were so close. I mean, their short program in Boston was sensational. A massive score, plus 80. It was looking like, oh my gosh, they just have to keep doing that in the free skate and it's theirs, and it got away from them. She, of course, went down in the throw quad, and then she also struggles with the second set of side-by-side triple jumps. They both do, but particularly her. Sweet, and that could be their downfall.
Well, it also
and if they do that again, if they botch that again, and Tarasova and Morozov, who I think will have a problem, but if they go clean, that's going to be tricky. But their program, their personal best scores this season, the short program, are like 0.06.
0.07.
So close.
They're literally, you're splitting hairs at that point, and it will really come down to grade of execution between those 2 teams. I have Tarasova and Morozov in third.
Savchenko-Massot second.
And I have Savchenko-Massot second. I think that Tarasova and Morozov, while they've had a really great season and a lot of confidence, I don't know. It's not that I think their momentum will run out, but I think they're maybe not as used to being the favorites going into Worlds, and that can mess with your head and kind of make it it can put a lot of pressure on yourself. And it's almost like Tarasova and Morozov started doing well when they had the issue at Skate America, and then people weren't as like they came out of the blue to win the Grand Prix final, and they showed actually really good result like at Europeans where they actually had to skate after those amazing performances by Savchenko Massot and James Cypre, or were they last?
I can't remember where they skated.
But
skate order, but Stolbova and Klimov skated before them,
and they skated well. I think they just had
pressure was high.
The pressure was really high to deliver, and they absolutely delivered. They put their quad twist back in again. Like they're clearly in it to win it, and they could definitely be world champions. And the smart pick might have been to pick them, but I just think Sui and Han have that level of sophistication and the lack of cheesiness in their free program. Sorry, guys. Sorry, it is so Gabby. Yeah. It is like I've tried to like it.
Yeah.
But it's just so.
And then they introduced the costume change with the blue and the sleeve business at the Grand Prix final, and I don't personally think that helped either. See, and I think your predictions. You have Savchenko Massot second, and I think the advantage to Savchenko Massot is for one thing, they've got the highest free score in the discipline overall. I think a 148 something, which they got at Europeans. Their program by Gary Beacom is phenomenal.
Well, they're not setting on their heads, so
yeah, true. They're not doing that, but it's phenomenal, and it really, I think, it really stands apart from the other teams as something unique and distinct. But they have not had a ton of success with skating clean programs. They did have it Europeans.
Yes,
generally.
that was
But at the beginning of the season, she spent a lot of time landing on her hip in the ice and so forth.
They were trying the triple axel and
absolutely.
And she was
and the throw quadruple Salchow was the very last element. I don't know if I should be impressed.
She is all about the Hail Mary pass at the very end.
Totally.
She's like, oh shoot, we haven't done our second throw yet. What do you want to do? Oh, a quad.
Totally. All right.
Final second. Let's just
give her a whirl and land it like a ton of bricks.
And she's like, just stay on your feet, girl.
But you have them second. You think they've got the goods?
I think they've got the goods. I think I think they're a more sophisticated team. I think Europeans showed that. Tarasova and Morozov are vulnerable if Savchenko and Massot skate as well as they can. I think they've got a really good shot at even winning. I mean, it would be a bit of a surprise to some people, but like their bronze last year was also a surprise to a lot of people, and I think they become that team that So Aliona comes back, and you wonder if she'll have the same success, if she can even achieve like world podium level, let alone world champion level. And they won Euros last year, and they were second last year. But
at their first European Championship.
But their first year, phenomenal. Yeah. And then this year they skate phenomenally, almost win this year. So they have a lot of momentum going for them, and they're not underdogs, but they can definitely. They're looking to sneak the victory from a lot of people who are expected to win. And I think that makes them a dangerous team, and that really makes them a podium contender. And I have them second because I think Aliona's experience is going to carry them at the end of the day. And while Tarasova and Morozov are very technically sound, I don't know if they have the same grit or the world's experience that Aliona has had, or that Sui and Han have had to really kind of push through in this all-important worlds before the Olympics.
The real pressure cooker. The two big teams I would mention outside of the ones that we've mentioned, James and Cypre, I think, are sort of the Caitlin Osmond of the pairs discipline. Their coaching in terms of comeback and really making a splash. Their change in training location and joining the John Zimmerman camp in the summer wasn't showing like it was going to be, change that team much at the beginning of the season at Skate America. And then they got their stride at Trophée de France, and then they really hit their stride at Europeans. Man, if they can ride this wave of momentum and confidence and stay calm in their heads and do it again, and maybe even land and master that throw quadruple, the quadruple triple. The quadruple Salchow.
She could do that if she wanted to as well.
Yeah, she could go for it. Quadruple triple. Let it make it happen. They could absolutely contend. And then the other team that is such a sentimental favorite, even though she is like cool as a cucumber, is Stolbova and Klimov.
Yeah.
I love this team. I would love to see them reclaim their form from the Sochi Olympics and the 2015 Grand Prix final in Barcelona when they got over 150 with very creepy free skate, but which gave you shivers and was amazing. And they have, I think, 2 great programs this year as well. They have galloping speed and phenomenal unison and speed. And if they do put it together, there's no quadruple happening, and I'm not sure if they'll get the
triple back.
They're not bringing it back?
I don't know if they are.
I mean, if
they will need it. They
Yeah.
will need it if they want to really challenge for the podium again.
Against all these quads happening.
Yes, because...
But they may not need it, but they'd have to rely on other people screwing up.
Well, yes. And
Russians don't like to generally rely on other people.
We've got the
full arsenal in our toolbox.
They want to go out guns blazing. So I would love for them to bring the triple back because it is that added difficulty that that all the top teams really need at this point. Like even Tarasova and Morozov, like they added the quad twist back in because you need at least a quad or some sort of like really difficult element to sort of hang with the top teams.
I agree.
Because now, like teams are like the component scores are getting so close together that it's really what's differentiating teams is their ability to be technically sound at the end of the day. So that's going to be a really and I'm also hopeful for Lyubov Ilishechkina and Dylan Moskovich and Kristen Moore-Towers and Michael Marinero to produce a really strong Canadian contingent, really solidify those 3 spots for next year. Again, it's weird that Canada has 3 pairs teams and China has only 2 pairs teams. Like the Canadians we are lighting it up this year. Hopefully we can maintain this momentum going into the Olympics in Korea. But it'll definitely be a very exciting event. We're expecting a lot of technical difficulties and a lot of teams to rise to that pressure of like being the top gun going into the Olympics next year. So that is our Paris prediction. And stay tuned for our men's and our ice dance predictions as well. And these are the Blade Boys signing off.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.